it also to a greater level?
To be honest, no, I mean, just like you are asking, many people are asking the same question. Really, what is it that we really want to fix in this Haiti? And every time, of course, I mean, history has shown us that every time a foreign country invades another country, it leaves it in a worse situation. And we can see these right from even the Kuwaiti wars, Iraq,
Start with Vietnam,
all that. I mean, you go back to memory lane. Every time another country invades another country, it leaves it in a very bad situation. And this is what I think, if there was a situation in which we can encourage perhaps a democratic rule in Haiti, I don't think it's by sending troops.
So, this is a UN-backed conversation. Obviously, it was adopted as the terms in terms of at the end of UNGA, which is the United Nations General Assembly.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the adoptions that was made. That yes, there will be a troop mission, and Kenya would head this. Obviously, this was given the consent of the president. Given with consent by the president, that yes, we can help. What would form such a thing? We did see before that a lot of hand-holding by the US of the president, across Silicon Valley to different corporates. It looked like some kind of quid pro quo, which was said, okay, well, you've done this for me and shown me how. Let me say, well, this is a situation that you have or that you're interested in. Let me also say that we can do this. What would fuel that?
There are a lot of theories. One of them goes back to our election time of last year. Of course, secrecy was never invented in this world. I mean, certainly not in Kenya. I mean, there are rumors that the US aided the election of President William Ruto. And it's probably payback time. Because one of the questions that people are asking out there, what criteria was being used by the US to pick on Kenya to lead this mission? It's not coming out clearly. And even for the president himself, he hasn't really come out to clarify or to explain to Kenyans, as accountability will require of him, to tell Kenyans why I'm sending 1,000 police officers to Haiti. He hasn't explained. So all this thing is shrouded in some sort of, secrecy. Over and above that, we now know there is a 14 billion Kenya shilling being, dangled on all these missions. So it's more about, I think, it looks more like about more money than actually the situation in Haiti. Because I don't think our police officers honestly are prepared for that kind of situation. Like you ask, everybody is asking, there is no explanation why Kenya. There are so many countries that are too close to Haiti. They could easily fix this. They could even mobilize the Caribbean. Why can't they fix it? Why are East African countries?
They know better than we do. If they're neighbors, they understand exactly what you'd be getting yourself into. Yeah, because if you imagine you come from Kenya, where when civilians resist any police insurrection, they resist with stones. Now here you're going into a place where people are better armed than you. And they do not have any qualms about shooting you. It doesn't really bother them very much. There is nothing in the Kenyan culture that teaches and trains our security personnel for that sort of situation. Because if you're talking about, say, battle-hardened security forces, go to Rwanda and Uganda. President Kagame sent a troop to Cabo Delgado.
Or South Sudan.
Yes, and sent them to Mozambique. There was some insurrection, some problem with ISIS and some of these groups in Mozambique. That thing quelled, finished, died. It has never reared its head again. There are people in this continent who have an army that knows exactly what needs to be done, and they will do it. I'm not saying ours doesn't. If you said you're sending the army, you could say, army has special troops, they've been to strange places. But
police.
No. You see, it is administration police. Now, they're paramilitary trained, yes. But what sort of situation do they find themselves in? Is there anything in their lived experience that would bring them any close to experiencing what it is that is the reality in Haiti?
Let's go back to 2014, November 2014. You remember there were about 25 GSU officers who were killed, massacred by Pokot bandits in Kapedo. And I remember President Uhuru actually flying into Kapedo, and Wazez told him, Mr. President, we thought those were Turkana we were killing. We didn't know they are police officers. Yeah, and they begged for forgiveness. Actually, on this is online. They begged for forgiveness, and they said, and President Uhuru said, "I want you to return back the guns." That's all he wanted, and indeed they returned. I remember a citizen journalist actually going to collect. He was being told, "Go such and such a place, such and such a thicket. You'll get 5 guns, 3 guns," and they returned the guns. Now, those are GSU, paramilitary trained. But now you're taking them into actually a real battlefield where people have got a date with death anytime.
Yes, and they don't mind that.
And they don't mind.
Because if we want to look at the facts here, I mean, there's emotion and there's a question that, why be pessimistic? Who say? I mean, you're saying why Kenya? And the question is, why not Kenya? Why can it not be Kenyan troops who then go and lead something? After all, we're leading from
what exactly
Kenya. Kenya is leading from the front. You say, why Kenya? Why not Kenya?
Can I ask, what are they going to do exactly?
We are not even told, and that's part of the problem. What is it? At some point, I heard that they were going to train. To train who? Yeah, or to disarm these gangs.
Oh,
I've heard that to disarm. Yes, that's also in the stories that they're going to disarm them. But that's going for war. And listen, the reason I keep on asking why Kenya is because we have a serious security situation ourselves at home, which we have not been able to fix. I come from the north, and so will many people tell you. Even in this Nairobi, we haven't been able to fix the problems of the crime. Just the other day, a senior police officer was killed. I think was it in Kayole, Amawapi. Up to now, I think they have done an arrest. But we are not able to fix some small petty offenses in our own country. Now we are taking our police officers to deal with gangsters, armed with sophisticated weapons.
Seasoned
In
gangsters.
today's paper, on page 4 of the Standard, there's a story of the return of criminal gangs in Ekuru causing jitters. And folks are saying, we don't know what is going to happen. This has happened before and it is coming back. So that could give rise to one of the things that you're talking about. How are we able to handle things here? That perhaps should fuel the decision to then take folks outside of the country.
There is also a UN report that shows that states that the ratio of police officer per civilian in Kenya is so below
the required standard.
The required standard.
Yes.
Now, that's also a situation we are dealing with in the country. So, yes, we will have to keep on asking why Kenya. We are even short of police officers on the street. So we are sending away 1,000. We are not even employing, anymore. So I think really this is a wrong decision. Whatever the persuasion, whatever persuaded William Ruto to make this decision, I think you need to rethink it. It's not too late to say, you know what, I don't think as a country we can afford this.
Okay, let's look at what kind of egg on face would happen on a global scale if that